Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Tim, Braden, Second Legacy. You are amazing, and thank you for showing up this morning or this afternoon. I don't know when it's going to air. Whatever. We're filming this morning. We're going to talk about a little bit of a situation because these people right here on my hat, they're near and dear to my heart, and they do a lot of really good work. And the NRA, the naughty kids in the corner, came out and said they did something very nefarious. So we're going to talk about that. And fair warning, we might get some spice because they went after our bros. Everything's going to be linked. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Tim, they went after our friends. The NRA did.
Yeah, but when I confronted them at the SHOT Show, they said, "Oh no, that's not really what we meant. We really meant
is it not?
that there's just one big misunderstanding."
Oh,
yeah.
God, you know what I hate? I hate misunderstandings.
Yeah.
They are the worst. Oh.
Yeah. I know. You just never know when one will crop up. Yeah.
Golly, man, they seem to be popping up every 4 seconds these days. Tim, let's just dive in and bring the audience along. I think this is something that we should absolutely talk about. You remember that brace thing that popped up from the ATF like a week and a half ago, where the email came out from GOA where a user asked about, for some reason, the brace on their Scorpion, and they came back and said, "Yeah, no, we're just ignoring court law." Remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it turns out NRA said well, I don't know if they said it, but they sure insinuated that entire email was fictitious, and GOA kind of fabricated it.
Yeah, the article is, it tends to perhaps suggest that GOA was being less than honest, and NRA was really telling its members what was really going on, and GOA was just, I don't know, whatever. But the reality is I've seen the emails, and we have the letter from ATF, right?
They're on the screen right now.
They're not faking government documents.
They're released.
And so we have the letter from ATF. And look, was it a screw up at ATF? Well, yeah,
Probably.
There's some old guard in there that still thinks
Probably.
they can do whatever they want. And this person apparently wasn't even in FAT-D, which is the group within the ATF that is supposed to handle these types of questions. And so some rando ATF agent just took it upon themselves to write this letter to a person that asked a silly question, and they got a silly answer. And then it went all over the internet, and then NRA is like, "Oh no, we don't really think that happened because we think ATF really gets it."
They're with it. They're hip.
Stalwarts of our rights. Yeah,
exactly. But it checks out though, Tim. It does check out a little bit, and this episode's probably gonna be heavy on sarcasm. I'm gonna be honest. I'm feeling sarcastic this morning.
Yeah.
So NRA is such a amazing track record of not, selling our gun rights down the river for, wait a minute. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
That's awkward. Actually, multiple times since the 80s. I think you actually brought up some newspaper clippings one time where it was actually highlighted. That's for those young ones watching. That's where we used to take ink and we put it on paper and it would be open like a book, a real big one. But I'm pretty sure that happened, right, Tim?
It was NRA's own magazine at the time. It wasn't American Rifleman. It was something else. The Monitor, I think it was called.
Something like that.
And yeah, it was right after they had convinced Wayne LaPierre's in the picture. It's right after they had convinced President Reagan to sign the Hughes Amendment, and with the Firearm Owners Protection Act, the poison pill the Democrats stuck in there to try to kill the whole thing. NRA said, "No, Mr. President, go ahead and sign it. We'll fight it in court and we'll get it undone because it's unconstitutional." And guess what? They never did, folks. Oh, they never filed a single lawsuit. They never challenged anything.
Oh, but you know who does send a whole lot of lawsuits? GOA.
Yeah. Just
objectively. All right. So now let's get into this pesky little email because the internet never forgets. So there's a few things about this, and I did a video on this, but the thing that initially strikes me of this NRA article that they put up in their ILA, the Institute for Legislative Action, there's a lot of reportedly. It purportedly happened. It may have happened. It could have. There's a lot of insinuation that it's not 100% verified, right? Now, before I show you a couple of those instances, I really want to hit on something, Tim, that I think you just sent through the newspaper. Nice.
Yeah, I just brought up the newspaper thing.
So the thing that really kind of irked me, and I'm going to set up camp on this for a second. Have you read the actual article from NRA, what they said?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So This little sentence right here, about halfway down. The ATF's arbitrary and overreaching rule provoked multiple lawsuits, including one by the NRA. These cases have resulted in a series of injunctions. Okay, I'm about to get squeaky. If you guys are not familiar, and Tim, I'm sure you are, you know what? The NRA is being truthful in this statement. There were multiple lawsuits around this whole pistol brace rule. And hey, Tim, you know who did them?
I know who didn't do them.
Oh my gosh, the NRA didn't. That is so weird. GOA did one, and they actually won. That's the one they're referencing right here in North Texas. That's the one that made the entire thing an injunction for all GOA, which then extended nationwide. But Tim, that's weird because it says including one by the NRA, which obviously led to freedom. Yeah, you did one 8 months after the injunctions were achieved.
Right, and
oh.
And they did one after they tried to attach themselves to somebody else's lawsuit, like they famously do. And the judge said, no, file your own.
File your own.
So FPC and GOA had already secured wins. And NRA tried to piggyback like they always do. And the judge said, get out of here with that. And then 8 months later, like, oh, we did it too. We did it too.
Yeah, 8 months later, it's like, us too. Give us credit. Give us credit. While we're discrediting the organization that actually did it. For this email that's reportedly, and it could be, and
yeah,
I saw a little bit of like, are we really doing this? Seriously, we're doing this? Okay,
yeah.
Just want to throw that in there, laid it in like a shoehorn.
And so, first of all, I mean, I think this is important. People, please, for the love of all things holy, stop sending messages to the ATF asking for permission to exercise your rights. Can you please stop doing that?
That's a good note.
Every time we've gotten a bad decision from the ATF regarding braces or bump stocks, but typically braces, it's always somebody writing some letter that's phrased in a way like, I really want an SBR, Mr. ATF agent, but I don't want to pay the $200 tax. Can I just make an SBR with a brace?
Right.
And what do you expect them to say?
No, don't do that.
Stop it.
That's true.
Anyway.
That's totally true. Maybe don't go to the guys who are just like fiending for some way to make up new rules for relevance. Maybe you don't give them something like that. Like,
oh my goodness. God. Just stop asking for permission, folks. It's been settled in the courts for the time being. Just stop it.
Just let it be. Just let it be. Yeah, that's that's the thing that just gets me, man. Like sometimes I understand. So I'm not going to bash the person who sent the email, and I don't think you are either. I think that's an advice.
I just wish people would stop sending those messages because that's how we get these decisions. It goes all the way back to the Colorado case.
That's true.
When all this kicked off after ATF already said they're fine.
Yes. No, 100% correct.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's that just struck me the wrong way, dude. I mean, candidly, this whole article. Again, if you want to read this, we'll link it in the description box down there, guys. But the phrasing is always important. When you look at some of the language that they use, like they reportedly received this article. Okay, well, you're directly calling into question the honor and the respect of GOA because now you're saying like they may or may not have received it. They released the entire document. We're going to throw it up on screen right now. Right. You can literally look at the entire document. This is not something where it's like, there's a rumor and an email and a myth. You're looking at it right now.
Right. Signed by the actual ATF agent that did it.
It exists. And then, Tim, to put a little cherry on top, after the NRA kind of backhandedly accused GOA of fabricating this, they did it. They did.
Maybe insinuating they misunderstood the letter. I don't even know what they were trying to get at. But go ahead.
No, the language literally says, on Friday, Gun Owners of America published an email reportedly received by one of its members.
Right.
Okay, and then I got some more for you. Let me kind of go through.
They did the deed.
They did it. They absolutely, come on.
You just want to, you kind of, just the human side of you wants to cut them a little bit of slack. I mean, they got rid of Wayne. They're trying to reform themselves.
Well, this isn't helping.
And then this happens. It's like, can you just buy tighter fitting pants so you stop stepping on your own stuff? I mean, just stop.
Right. And so then we go into after the reportedly received, then we go into the trying to claim that they did something with the pistol braces, which they didn't, which I just showed you. Then going a little bit further down, it says the purported FIPB response, again, insinuating it's not true. This statement, if indeed it reflects current ATF understanding, again, it's just, It's not cute. That we do not need to do that.
No, and keep in mind, folks, the NRA has mentioned GOA maybe once in the last 20 years. Right? They just pretend like GOA, FPC, SAF don't exist. But here, this is clearly, in my opinion, this looks like a hit piece against one of their competitors. And why? Because most of us in social media, when NRA went completely wacky after what went down during Trump's first term in Vegas, and they said that, we believe bump stock should be regulated and we believe this should be regulated, and they just went full gun control. We in social media said that's enough, and we went to war with NRA. In figuratively, of course, in that we were just saying, people, you have to be aware what this organization has been doing historically. Well, now apparently they're upset about it, and they've lost at least 2 million members, the rumor mill has reported. And so now they're probably kind of salty because most of them have landed at other organizations like Gun Owners of America, who have seen their numbers and popularity and reach just, grow incredibly over the last few years. Because people aren't leaving the NRA and just saying, don't care about my gun rights. NRA was a bad bag. Screw those guys. I'm out. I'm done. I'm selling my guns. No, that's what the anti-gunners want you to believe.
I'm about to say, you mean the anti-gunners are lying?
Yeah, this is the Giffords and the Brady Bunch trying to convince you, like, look, we killed the NRA. Gun rights are gone. No, everybody moved over to a radical group like GOA that has an over 40-year history of no compromise. And by that it means, you don't go into meetings with Congress critters and go, I'll turn the other way and let you vote against this if you'll kind of just give a little support to this, meaning what what they're willing to turn their backs to is something like, a 94 assault weapons ban.
Right. And okay, so you just nailed it, dude. When you play politics like this, they're using your rights as currency. That's the point. So, and this is something that I hit all the time on my channel. In order to do the horse trading that happens in politics, what they typically will do is they'll say, listen, I really want this suppressor removed from the NFA. And then the left will say, well, I really want universal background checks. Well, somewhere in the middle there, if they're going to do something, they're going to give some stuff up to get to that middle point. So what they'll do is they'll go, listen, let's not get crazy with the universal background checks and the suppressors because, we both had our positions. Why don't we drop those two things that are important and let's go to the middle on something mundane. And then we can say we both won to our individual camps, and then we'll have the same fight next week. Yeah. That's literally how this works. So when you look at this kind of stuff, and in wrapping up this article, and there's one last piece to this, as the article was being published, NRA was in the process of trying to verify the authenticity of the email.
You have the agent's name and the email address and domain it came from.
And then, after NRA dropped this email, the ATF responded to GOA's SVP, Eric Pratt, saying, yeah, we know we sent the email, and yeah, we're sorry, and yes, you're right, it's under injunction, mea culpa, mea culpa. And the NRA looks like an idiot.
Yeah. God. Because, again, as you said, ATF owned this email and said, oops, sorry, everybody. It was just a mistake. We don't know what this agent was doing. It's been corrected.
And to be completely fair, and I will say it, and Tim, you can tell me if you agree. Sometimes individuals make mistakes that gets reinterpreted for the entire organization. And as long as they send a correcting email to say, nope, that was not correct. That was an individual. We have corrected it. Sorry. Okay. Right. Good talk. Great.
The thing is these letters carry a lot of weight.
Yes, they do.
And so they have to be addressed when they come out, because oftentimes two different people can send letters to the ATF asking a similar question and get two different answers back.
Absolutely.
Okay. But keep in mind also that these letters only apply to the person asking the question, but they still have a ripple effect across the industry. So if I write a letter to the ATF and the ATF says, yes, go ahead and put a stock on your handgun, we think it's fine. So as long as I keep that letter, the stock on my handgun is legal, even though somebody could prosecute me under the NFA, because that letter applies to me and me only. I can post the letter online and other people can copy what I've done, but they don't have the protection of that letter. So these letters do matter, but they're only intended to go to the person asking the question. But oftentimes, as I said, you get conflicting letters, but they do steer the industry in the conversation, right? So when these letters come out and say, no, that's actually illegal, it does cause a big, is there a policy shift happening at ATF? So you have to track them, and you have to make them, like when this letter came to GOA, they would be remiss if they had not published this letter and say, hey guys, we got a problem here potentially. And that's all they did.
Yes, correct.
So.
And honestly, we're both wearing GOA hats for a pretty dang good reason.
Yeah, we're just at the GOA booth, the SHOT Show.
I mean, exactly. It was just a convenient hat. I mean, like, it was convenient. That's what I was implying. No, so
got myself in
GOA, to their point, they do very solid work. Very solid work. And there's a reason that they're growing so fast. And there's probably a reason why the NRA felt the need to apply a lot of question marks on their work here. Take it for what it is. That's my thoughts, Tim. What do you? I mean, anything you want to wrap with?
Yeah. Anyway, look, folks, I don't want the NRA gone. I just want to say this. I think NRA needs to go through its reform cycle. They need to stop attacking other groups and focus on their own problems. There's a biblical phrase here about a speck in your eye and a plank in the other dude's eye, in your brother's eye. So just stop, NRA. Focus on fixing your problems. Stop attacking GOA. I would love to see NRA back in the fight. Now that they've gotten rid of Wayne, I'd love to see the reform candidates come in and get NRA back on its feet. But honestly, guys, when you do things like this, it gives us all pause because there are flashbacks to the Wayne years. Please stop. Thank you for watching Second Legacy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.